Hello everybody, it's Kathy Champion and you're back in my craft room here at Random Acts of Crafting. And as some of you already know, I was invited by Edith Ray of Scrapbooking with Me, which is her channel. Her and her daughter Melina have invited me to be a part of their design team for their e-club kits. I've been receiving the club kits for probably, well, ever since she first introduced them, and I think that might have been a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. And this is the August kit, and I had been so busy this month with so many things going on. I had opened it and looked at it when I first got it, and I zipped it back up and tucked it away, and I'm glad I did. That was one of those little happy mistakes, because now that gives me the opportunity to open this kit fresh and show you what I would do with it in making cards. The reason that Edith invited me to be on the design team is she saw some of my cards on my channel and she was inspired, and she told me that cards were not her thing, but she said that I made beautiful cards, so I took that as a very high compliment coming from Edith, because I've met Edith. I went to Made It Con, the first Made It Con I went to. I was in a couple of her classes, and I absolutely fell in love with Edith from the get-go. And I had been watching her channel for a while anyway, so I was familiar with her form of crafting, and I loved it. She's a very good teacher and one of my mentors, and I've said this many times. My three mentors is May, Edith, and Tracy, and they were the three ladies that actually gave me my love of crafting. And I have to say that May was probably the first one, and then I discovered Edith, and then I met Tracy at Made It Con, and we had an instant bond. So that's a little bit of my history. Some of you already know that, some of you may not because you're new to my channel. I want to thank all you new people that have come in that from Edith's video when she announced that I was going to be on the design team. So what I wanted to do is I just want to go over the items that came in this kit, and this was a very generous kit. The only pitfall I had, and this had nothing to do with Edith, my mail person decided that they're going to take my kit and double it into and shove it into my mailbox where I could barely pull it out. I was not happy, but they've also thrown my mail in the middle of my driveway. So at least it wasn't in the middle of the driveway. I got some stamp sets from May, and they were laying in the middle of the driveway. I just thank God that it wasn't raining. I am almost to the point of complaining to the post office, but hey, what can you do? Also, when I received my boxes for Made It Con with all my kits in it, they didn't set it to the side of my storm door. They set them right directly in the front of my storm door where I could not open my door. My storm door is glass all the way, and I literally had to open the door and push the boxes with my door in order to get out. Either that, I'd have to go out the back, walk all the way around the house and get them, and that was just too much of a pain. And since thank goodness they wasn't too heavy, so I was able to get them. Kudos to UPS. UPS brings me deliveries quite often, and they do always set them to the left of my door so I can open my door, reach out, pick up my package, and there you go. But anyway, enough of my soapbox. I'm climbing down now, and we're going to go over this kit because this was such a beautiful kit. Look at this In Vogue paper. This is so girly, so beautiful. This right here reminds me so much of me. I used to be such a shoe person, and then I went through this whole ordeal of heel surgeries, and more heel surgeries. So now shoes aren't quite as important to me because I can only wear like the Vionics and to support my feet. I'm now a purse girl. I love a pretty bag. So when I saw these two next to each other, it actually made me chuckle because that was me, and this is now me. So I thought, okay, I'm going to go over this paper real quick. It is beautiful. It is so in vogue. It is so classic. Look at these little tiny cut aparts. They are gorgeous. I absolutely love this paper pack. we're going to be doing something with this, and I don't even know where I'm going, but we're gonna go together. You also got, and this is what got bent. I did put this in a heavy book to straighten it out a little bit, so it's not too bad, but it's still wrinkled. I don't know if you can see that. But here is our solid pieces of cardstock that came in that. We also got a large page of cut aparts, and I love what Edith did because she cut these in a way that it did not disrupt, so it's like a full 12 by 12 sheet of cut aparts. And if you don't care for the cut aparts, you can always turn it over and use this pattern, but who wouldn't want to use these? I mean, this is a card in the making. You know, cut one of these out, do some other elements on your card, and you've got a beautiful card. We also got a Simon Hurley stencil. So I'm not sure yet what I want to do with the stencil, so that might come in another video. We got this beautiful set of alphabet lettering. This is always nice, especially if you want to personalize something. This is always good to have. And some of us have these already in our stash. I know I have some alphabets that I keep. I also have some stamp sets that are alphabets, and I also have some dies that cuts alphabets. Always good to have something like that in your stash. She also put this great little pin in here, and I'm going to pull a piece of scrap. I was cutting some card fronts a while ago, and I have this scrap. And this is a really, it's almost like a micron tip on it. And it just feels really good. This would be great for outlining things. I love that pen. I'm a pen person, y'all. I love pens. Look at all these sequins. Oh my goodness. I was just amazed at these beautiful sequins. You got black and blue and silver and iridescent. You got these that look like crystals. You got white. You got black. You got a shiny black, a muted black. One looks like a charcoal. They are just beautiful. And that In Vogue paper, oh, those are going to be so pretty. Look at all these pearls that we got. I mean, that is pearls till the cows come home. Love it, love it, love it. And she also included, which Edith has been including, some tools in our club kits. I know one time it was a Tim Holtz ruler. One was a T ruler. If you're not familiar with a T ruler, it's one of these. And these are great for evening up your card if you want to line something up. This is the perfect tool to have. So she put one of those in one of the kits. And this time we got the tweezers, and these are so great for picking up little embellishments and putting things where you want them. They work out great for holding your bows, so this is a great asset in our craft room. We got this beautiful piece of satin white ribbon, which is gorgeous. Look at that. See the shimmer on it? We also got a piece of jute twine. I think she said that this was hemp, but I'm pretty sure this is jute. Hemp is usually much smoother, but anyway, not to correct Edith, but I'm pretty sure that this is a jute twine. So that'd be great because that can give us that shabby chic feel on these cards. And then look at this beautiful black lace. Is that not gorgeous? Look at that. So I'm going to have fun with this because I think lace and ribbon can add so much to a card. So we are going to have fun with this kit, and I am going to do some brainstorming here real quick. I also wanted to bring in something. I watched Maymay's video the other day, and she did a technique that I found absolutely gorgeous for card fronts, and that was just streaking inks. So I grabbed 3 of these Nouveau, and these are the little mini Nouveau hybrid inks. They come in beautiful colors. I think there's 4 to a card, and all the colors coordinate or accentuate one another. So I grabbed these 3 and just did this dragging across my card, and that is such a beautiful technique to use. And I know she did it with alcohol markers, she did it with ink pads. I forgot what else she used. I'd have to go back and watch the video. But I thought this was just absolutely brilliant. Kudos to Maymay for this. So I am going to actually use this technique in some of the card making coming up. So I just wanted to show y'all that and let you see how pretty it is, and we will definitely be doing something very similar to that coming up. Okay, without any further ado, I'm going to look at my cut aparts, because I think what I want to do is I want to do something simple today, being my first one, and I'm trying to decide which one of these beautiful little pieces do I want to use. And you know, my eye keeps going to this one. I don't know why, but my eye keeps going to this one. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with what my first inclination is. Sometimes your very first inclination is the best. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my trimmer out, put my score blade up, and I'm going to bring this right here, and I'm going to cut this piece out right about there. I've got to cut it where I want it. And it did take a little piece off of that, but that's okay. That looked like that piece needed to be cut out anyway. It looked just a tad bit uneven, and that evened up this piece whenever we get ready to use it. So now I'm just going to cut this one away right about there. And now we can trim this one up to make it exactly what we want it. So I'm just going to come in and take off a scant little bit off of that bottom, just to get that white off. And I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side, because there's a little bit more there than I want. And that cleaned that up really good. I also want to distress this because this looks so vintage. I think it needs to be distressed a little bit. So what I'm going to do, I want to decide what matte that I want to matte this on, and I'm thinking I want to use this teal because I think that will really pop on the teal, and I think I'm going to use a white card base. So I am going to grab a piece of white. This is the great thing about the club kit. I like to add elements from my own stash along with the kit. So if you need a piece of white paper, grab some white paper. If you decide that you want to do an embossing folder to accentuate your piece, by all means grab an embossing folder. I probably will do that because I want this card to be so elegant and so beautiful, and I think we can get that effect just by adding a few extra little things. So I'm going to cut my card base. I'm going to cut on the 11-inch side, and I'm going to cut it at 5.5 because 5.5 is half of 11. So I'm going to cut this in half because I prefer my cards to open from the side. Some people like them from the top, and it depends on what I'm doing. But this one I'm going to definitely open. So now we're going to score on the 8.5-inch side. So we're going to score it at 4 1/4 because 4 1/4 is half of 8.5. So bring our cut blade down and score. And then, and I also want to remind everybody, if you have not gone over and subscribed to my Random Acts of Stamping, please do that. That is my new channel. I'll put the link in the bottom. And that channel is dedicated totally to Stampin' Up. And so you can see some beautiful projects over there, some beautiful projects and products beautifully. All right, I'm going to cut a mat for this, and so this being a 4 1/4 by 5.5, I'm going to cut it 1/4 less, so I'm going to do a 4 by 5 1/4. So let's bring our trimmer over one more time, and I'm going to cut this one like this because I want to cut it right down the side, just like that, and I am going to cut 4 by 5.5, 5 1/4. Yeah, 5 1/4, because this is going to be our mat. So, and I'm also, this is the piece I'm going to emboss. So I am going to grab an embossing folder, and I will be right back. I'm not sure which one I want to use on here, so I gotta go get inspiration, but we'll be back. Okay, y'all, I am back, and I found the perfect one for this. This is actually a Stampin' Up. It's Parisian Flourish, and what would be more beautiful with this paper pack than Parisian Flourish? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my paper in, and I'm just going to put it in right in the center and close it up, and I'm going to use my little embossing machine over here, and I'm not even going to bring this up to the front because we don't need to see me emboss. It's just a simple process of putting down a plate and your folder with your paper in it, and then another plate over top, and we are going to emboss this, and it's going to be gorgeous. Yeah, y'all hearing the clanking of my machine, all part of the process. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to lay this on here. Now, I don't put my cards together until I get everything built. That is just me because I don't want, I may change my mind. I don't want to glue anything down until I'm committed. That saves me a lot of trouble of having cards that you end up throwing away. So it's much better to cut your pieces. I'm trying to look and see if there's anything in here that I want to put on here. You know, I love this. I think a piece of this, a stripe across the bottom. Okay, let me ink my edges. So let's get a vintage photo. I like that brown in the vintage. Let's see if I can find it up here. I use this one so much you would think it would be right on top, but it wasn't. All right, this is just the Distress ink, and it is vintage photo. And any of you that have crafted for any period of time, you know all about these. Let me get an inker, a little tool to ink with. And I keep these where I can easily and readily find them. And see, I've got ink on my finger, so be careful if you pick these up that you'll get ink on your finger and you'll transfer it to your card. So that's why I keep some wipes over. And it's been so hard to find wipes lately because of the pandemic. So I found some regular wipes, and I poured some alcohol in them. And that works great for me. It gets the ink off of my fingers. It cleans up my table if I get ink on it. So that's what I did. You know, hey, necessity is the mother of invention, right? That's what I hear. All right, what I'm going to do with this, I think I want to clip my corners with one of my with my scallop and stub punch. And I think I want to use the stub end on this. So I'm just going to pop that in here and just cut away those corners just for a little added interest. You know, the little things that you do like this with your cards is what makes things stand out. So I'm just going to ink this up. And I wanted to trim it first so I didn't have to go back and ink those edges. So if you're going to do any edging, cutting, or anything like that, do it before you ink. And see, all this does is really makes this piece stand out. So sometimes just adding little things will make such a difference. I'm also going to ink this one. I really want this to stand out on the white paper. And it doesn't matter if it looks a little messy. This is what you're going for. You want it to look very vintage. So just, you know, just ink up that edge. It's not rocket science. Don't be afraid. I think a lot of times, I know for myself, when I first started making cards, I felt afraid to try anything. And I had to get out of that. So, you know, don't be afraid. It's It's paper. It is just paper. So now I'm going to wipe my hands off again before I touch that white card, the card base, because any of y'all know me, you'll know that I can make a mess with some ink. Alright, I'm going to set this over here and this over here. This should dry fairly quickly. So I want to go back to this paper pack because that little strip that was in here, there it is. I'm going to tear this page out because I really want that strip right there. And I'm trying to decide, do I want the red on it? And I think I do. I think I'm going to cut that out. It looks like a little fashion show. It's so pretty. This paper is gorgeous. So many possibilities in that pack as well, because it is so versatile. I think you could use it in so many different ways. So again, our little handy dandy trimmer. What would we do without our trimmers? I don't even want to know. Because I can't cut a straight line to save my neck, so I depend on my trimmer to cut that straight line for me. So I'm lining this up because I want to get just along there. And that looks like I might get it just where I want it. So don't be afraid to cut your paper. That's what it's for. Cut your paper, because if you cut it, you're more than apt to use it. If you leave it in the pack, more than likely you're going to say, oh, it's too pretty, I don't want to cut it. It's not doing you any good if you don't use it, right? That's my philosophy. Alright, now I need to decide how much I need across my card. So I'm thinking I only want to take it across this. So I know I'm going to need 4 inches because I cut that at 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to come over here to 4, and then I'm just going to cut. Yeah, we got a little piece there, but hey, who knows, we might be able to use that on something else. So let's bring my trimmer back over here. And now let's decide how we want to lay this out. Alright, I want this on here, just like that, and I want this to come down about here, and then I want our lovely lady to go, I want her just to kind of hang out across there, like that. And you know what? I have the perfect stamp set for this. Let me grab that stamp set and then we'll decide what we're going to do as far as a sentiment. And I will be right back. Okay, I am back and I found this stamp set that I got. It's been some time back, but this is called Fashionista. And I love this because look, it's got lipstick, perfume bottles, sunglasses, handbags, high heels, the Eiffel Tower. Life is a party, dress like it. All you need is love and handbags, so true. Kindness is always fashionable. Fashionista, in vogue. It's just got some beautiful, and I chose Hello Gorgeous. And I thought, we don't have a place on this card where a sentiment would go. So I'm going to do something a little unconventional. I'm going to stamp our sentiment, Hello Gorgeous, right there on her dress. I think that that will look so pretty, and we're going to do this in a very dark black ink. I'm going to use my my VersaFine black onyx because that always gives me a good inking. So let me grab our stamp block. And we don't need anything too big. You know, having stamp blocks in the right size always helps with stamping straight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that stamp down right there, making sure I've lined it up nice and even on my grid, and then I'm going to pick it up. Getting your stamp straight on your block is half of the battle of stamping straight. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink this up really good. I might even stamp it on a piece of scrap paper. If I can find a piece of scrap paper. Isn't that horrible? I'm here in my craft room and I don't even have a piece of scraps. I don't know if I can do it on this. I think it's too small, but we'll try it. Let's see. I have this little piece of paper here that was from an order. Okay, I'm using photopolymer stamps, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to use this little foam mat. This always helps you get, if you got a foam mat, old mouse pad. I used an old mouse pad forever. That old ugly green one. I'm sure if you've been on my channel for any length of time, you know what I'm talking about. But I am going to stamp this down right here. And I'm hoping this is going to look just like it was meant to be there. And it does. Look at that. Somebody would think that that piece was made with that already on it. But hey, we know it wasn't. So let me clean my stamp really quick because I know that I am a little bit paranoid about having dirty stamps. It's just who I am. Can't help it. And all clean. Beautiful. Let me close up my ink before I make a mess. And that is stunning. I love it. So this is a good way to make a quick card. I think I am going to put this a little bit like that, and I think I might do that one a little bit that way. I like that mix-up of it looking kind of off kilter and off center. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and commit. I'm going to put my piece down on the bottom of this. I'm going to move it off of my card base, and I'm just going to use some more glitter glue. And I am going to lay this down about there. Remember, we cut it perfect, so you want it to go from end to end, or from side to side, however you look at that. And you want to give that a little extra glue, and you want to give it a little extra rub when you put it down, because you are gluing it to an embossed uneven surface. So always take that in mind anytime you're gluing to an embossed area. This piece I think I'm going to pop up with some foam tape. So I am going to grab my Scotch dimensional foam, and let me grab my scissors and cut us off. I think we're going to need maybe about 3 pieces. Let's start with 2 and we'll go from there. But I think I'm going to put a piece here and maybe one here. Another piece right about here. That worked out good. And I'm going to cut some little pieces because I think we need, cut this in half. This is the good thing about having the foam tape. You can cut it into the sizes that you want it to be. Just like that. And then I'm going to put one more piece down the middle. And I think that'll be plenty of tape to hold this in place. Come down to the end. Just like that. So let's go ahead and pick our tape up, or our backer off of our tape. And you know, for the inside of this card, we can put another piece of, you know, I love to layer. Layering is my thing. But I thought, how neat would it be to make a cute card, maybe for your girlfriend, maybe for, you know, your bestie, or maybe that little fashionista in your life. Maybe you have a granddaughter that would love this Hello Gorgeous card, and just to let her know you're thinking of her. I think that's always so sweet. In fact, I just may send this one to my granddaughter. I have 2 granddaughters and 3 grandsons, and I am so blessed to be a gammy. All right, now this piece, I do want to put it maybe a little off kilter like that. I like that. I love that off and on look. I am going to glue this one down flat. So I am going to turn this over, And again, I'm going to be very generous with my art glitter glue because of you can see how it would be hard to get that to stick because it's got so many little crooks and crannies in it. So just, don't be shy with your glue. Put enough on it so that it will stay in place. The last thing you want to do is mail a card to someone and then it fall apart. Not good. So I'm going to put that on there just about like that. And the good thing about if you have problems lining up cards, which I used to be terrible at lining up cards, you can make one like this and make it look like this is what you intended, and which is what I intended, and it will look great, and you don't have to worry about getting that even border. How cool is that? So now what I want to do is I'm going to take this other piece of teal and I'm going to make a mat for inside. So what I want to do is cut this down to 5 1/4. I think we already cut that at 4. And let me put my pen back in my glue before I have a mess that I cannot clean up. Oop. Oh my goodness. All right. So I am going to put this in this way because I want to cut off that branding strip. And I'm going to put it at 5 1/4. And we are just going to cut that up. And we are going to put this inside. But you know what? Before I commit this in, I think I want to do a little bit of stamping on here. How cute would that be? Let's do the Eiffel Tower in the corner. Since the Eiffel Tower is showing back here, I thought, how cute would it be to put this right here? And then I'm going to use the same stamp set, and I'm going to put Life is a Party, Dress Like It. I think that would be so cute. Or Kindness is Always Fashionable. Maybe that would be cute in here. Let's see. Kindness is Always Fashionable. And let's put this little lady down here. I love to do, build stamps like this. Kind of just build it. It's just so cute. I think I'm going to drop a heart right there. Maybe there. Oops. The bad thing about stamps are they are sticky. I think I'm going to put this one in my Misty to make sure that I can get everything stamped like I want it, because I can go back and re-ink. Oh, look at that. There. Now I'm going to put the heart right here, and then I'm going to move it with my eraser. Oh, it doesn't want to move against the paper. There. And I'm going to do this all in black. And I think I'm going to use this on a stamp block and just put some little dooflachies around on it. Is dooflachi really a word? I'm Southern, so sometimes we just come out with words that nobody else has ever heard of. But that's okay. That is okay, because that's who we are. All right, I'm going to open up my Misty, and I am going to sit this down in here, putting it over into my corner, just like so. Oop. Do not let these magnets get next to each other because they are dangerous. All right, and that looks really good where I want it. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick up my stamps and see how sticky they were. So the paper did move a little bit, but that's okay. As long as you get it back into your corner, you're good to go. So if you do not have a stamp positioner, you need one. It will change your life. Now, what did I do with my ink? Do y'all do that? Do you move stuff on your desk and then you can't find it? It's sitting right here by my elbow. Again, I'm using the VersaFine on these because I want these just to have a black image. I don't want anything too elaborate. I just want them to be like a black silhouette. Oh, beautiful. I don't even have to stamp it twice. I love it. This is gorgeous. So now what I want to do, and I'll clean my stamps in just a minute. I'm going to set this up over here. And what I want to do is I want to take that little stamp, and I'm going to get a tiny stamp block. It doesn't matter if this is on straight or not. I am going to just kiss it all around. And all it is just a little, I'll show you what it looks like. Let's stamp one right here. They look like little, just a little ditty of some sort. But I think it's cute, and I think it will add to our card because we're just going to randomly stamp them. On and off of your paper. Anytime you're doing anything like this, you want them to be on and off. You don't want it to look like that it was, you want it to look like this came in the paper. I think that would be maybe one right there. I think that's good. One more. That's good. You don't want an overkill, so you want to come to a point where you know you need to stop. So I think that is it. I love that. I think it turned out beautiful. And again, you may not have the stamp set, but you can have something else that would coordinate and go with this. So now all we have to do is glue this down inside our card. And you know what? I think I want to use that stub and follow through with the stub punch. Let's see, yeah, I'm doing the stub. And I'm going to go in and just stub the corners of this, just for some added dimension, and then we're going to put this down. And I think I'm going to use, I think I'm just going to use some a tape runner for this. And I'm just going to go around the top and the bottom and the side. And then one piece across there. And this is very sticky, so you are going to, you're going to feel how sticky this is. So, and we're just going to line it up and sit it down. Just like that. And our card is done. How cute is that? I love making cards, and this was absolutely a wonderful, oop, my magnets clanked together again. I think this turned out so cute. I love the fact that I stamped that Hello Gorgeous right there. Let me bring y'all in just a little bit. You know what, let me wipe this off before we get ink all over everything, because I was stamping on and off and I got a little ink on my surface. Thank goodness for alcohol wipes, because not only do they clean so well, they also disinfect. And you know, if you are like me, you have been disinfecting every knob, handle, everything in your house. We've been living in a disinfected world. And that's kind of scary, because you know, you think about if you disinfect everything, we'll get to the point that we can catch anything, and I hate that. But I'm going to lay my card down right here, and I'm going to bring y'all in. Just like that. And what do you think? I hope y'all love this card. I hope this is something that you will try. And I think it turned out beautiful. So leave me a comment. Let me know. Let me know if you subscribe to Edith's club kit. And if you don't, go over to, I'll put her link in the bottom of my video. And if you don't subscribe, go over and check out Edith. I think you'll love her as much as I do. And again, Edith, I want to thank you once again for this great opportunity. This is going to be so much fun. And y'all watch out, because there's going to be more cards coming before the September kit comes out. So I'm going to try to get at least 3 more out of this. So anyway, I love all of you very much. God bless you and keep you. And as I always say in closing, let everything you do and say bring glory to our Savior. He is so worthy. So until we craft again, bye-bye.